Now, before I continue, just want to tell you something. It's the law in this country. It's an act of Parliament passed in 1701 that the British monarch has to be a Protestant. If they change religion, regardless what religion that is, then they become disqualified and are not eligible to become king or queen. Now, King Charles, the man who spent his life waiting for a throne that's basically a glorified museum piece, rocks up to an Islamic centre and opens his speech with, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Oh, how very enlightened of him. How very multicultural. I can just picture the headlines. King Charles embraces diversity. Cue the slow clap from the perpetually offended, who will no doubt call it a historic moment for unity. Meanwhile, the rest of us are sitting here scratching our heads, wondering when the monarch became a branch of the PR department for global harmony. Now, if Charles wants to convert to Islam or any other faith, that's completely and totally and utterly up to him. He's a human being. He does have rights. He's a grown man, albeit a grown man who evidently can't dress himself in the mornings, but that's just rumours. But if he has, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that he has converted to Islam with his recent behaviour, for example, then he simply can't be king anymore. That's not me being, what's that word, Islamophobic? It's not me being racist or xenophobic, it's the law. And besides, if I was to have a monarch, I would rather he or she be native and follow a native religion. That's not too much to ask, is it? And let's get one thing straight. I don't care if the king wants to say Assalamu alaikum, shalom, or top of the morning to you in a leprechaun hat. Words are words, but when a head of state, the supposed embodiment of British tradition, feels the need to kick off a speech with a greeting that's not exactly native to Buckingham Palace, you've got to ask, what's the message here? Is this about respect or is it about something else? Because, let's be honest, it's never just about respect, is it? It's about signalling. It's about bending over backwards to prove you're not one of those people, the ones who actually care about the culture they were born into. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying King Charles shouldn't visit an Islamic centre or anywhere else. He's the king. Go where you like, mate. Shake hands, cut ribbons, do the royal wave. But when you start the speech in a phrase that's more at home in a mosque than a manor house, you're not just being polite, you're performing. You're sending a message to every activist with a clipboard and a grudge that says, look, I'm one of the good ones. Please don't cancel the crown. And that, my friends, is where the rot sets in. Because here's the thing. Britain's got a history. It's not perfect, whose is, but it's ours. It's built on centuries of struggle, sacrifice, and a culture that, frankly, doesn't need to apologise for existing. Yet every time someone in a position of power feels the need to borrow another culture's greeting to prove their credentials, it's a little chip away at that foundation, isn't it? It's not about welcoming others, it's about signalling that what we've got here isn't good enough on its own. And I'm sorry, but I'm not buying it. If I went to an Islamic country and expected their leaders to greet me with, all right, mate, how's it going? I'd be laughed out the room, and rightly so. And you know what's funny? If the king had said good afternoon or hello, everyone, no one would have batted an eyelid. It's neutral, it's inclusive, it's normal, but no, we've got to have the performative gesture, haven't we? The little nod to the diversity gods, because heaven forbid anyone thinks the monarchy isn't keeping up with the times. Meanwhile, the same people cheering this will be the first to tell you the monarchy is an outdated relic. Funny how that works, isn't it? They want tradition when it suits them and progress when it scores points. And let's not kid ourselves, this isn't about equality. If it was, we'd see the same enthusiasm from the king popping into a church and belting out praise be to Jesus, or visiting a Hindu temple and chanting Om Shanti. But we don't, do we? Because that wouldn't fit the script. The script says Britain must always be the one to adapt, to accommodate, to nod along like a bobblehead on a dashboard. Well, I've got news for you. Respect is a two-way street. You don't earn it by grovelling. You earn it by standing tall and being who you are, not by borrowing someone else's lines. So, Charlie, here's a thought. Next time you're at an Islamic centre, or anywhere else for that matter, just say hello. It's a perfectly good word. It's British, it's universal, and it doesn't come with a side order of cultural cringe, because if you keep signalling that Britain's identity is up for grabs, don't be surprised when someone takes you up on it. And there we go, that's me done. If you like this, please share. If you didn't, well, you know where the door is. I'm Paz49, thanks for watching, and until the next time, Roger Trout.